Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking to you all about pasta. Now, I know some people may not be able to eat the standard typical whole wheat pasta or wheat flour pasta, so I am here with some alternatives you can try and some reviews on the alternatives I've tried. The first thing to note is that in this case, some of these pastas may have different ingredients. I'm talking about specific brands here instead of pastas with, say, other additives or other multiple ingredients. So I'm not talking about pastas that have, say, lentil and then they have wheat. I'm talking about pure no wheat pastas. I'm going to be talking about two types of pasta specifically, corn pasta and potato pasta. Now, both of these pastas tend to be pure, so with the potato pasta, although it's mixed with tapioca and some other ingredient to keep it together, it is not with any wheat, so you won't find this type of pasta made with wheat or any other kind of ingredients you can't have unless you can't have tapioca or potatoes. So you should be good there. With the corn flour pasta, this tends to be made 100% corn flour and water. So unless you are allergic to corn, you should be able to eat this one fine too. Both of these pastas range pretty cheap to slightly pricey. You can get corn pasta for about $1.99 or $2 maybe at some places, whereas with the potato pasta it's more niche, so you may have to find it at Whole Foods. It may cost you $2, $3. If you can get a sale, that'd be good. If you can't, that's fine, but the potato pasta tends to be pricier. You can find both in a wide variety of shapes. The corn pasta tends to have the elbows as well as the corkscrew shapes and the long typical spaghetti strands. The potato pasta, on the other hand, tends to come in elbows, long flat strips, and also it can come in shells or shorter spaghetti-like strands. While the corn pasta cooks evenly regardless of what shape you get, the potato pasta can give trouble when you're cooking different shapes. I've had trouble cooking elbows on the same burner I cook shells just fine with, and that tends to be because the ingredients can be a bit tricky and the pasta can be a bit tricky. So even if you follow the recipe to a T, you might need to tweak it a little in order to figure out how to get the pasta to cook properly. So if it doesn't cook properly for you, it may not be just you, it may be the pasta. You may just have to try and alter the way you're cooking it. Now, also because of the way they're made, they tend to have varying compositions and they tend to hold together differently. The potato pasta can dissolve if you don't cook it properly, so if you don't cook it properly, what will usually happen is that your potato pasta will just dissolve in water and you'll lose half of your pasta into the water. You can't get it out of the water, it'll just be dissolved. The corn pasta, on the other hand, does not do this. So if you have corn pasta and you're cooking it, it will not dissolve. Even if you cook it for a long time, it will get soft, but it won't just break apart into the water. This also means that with the corn pasta, you can stir it and it will stay put, it will stay together, whereas the potato pasta may break apart if you stir it too much. So you have to be very careful when managing with the potato pasta. The main maker of this potato pasta brand I am reviewing is Geffen. While other pastas, such as corn pastas, tend to have a variety of makers and you can get them in a generic quality as well as a specific brand like Sam Mills, I find that potato pasta, I've only found Geffen to sell a pure kind of potato pasta. All others I found tend to be mixed with milk or dairy products or wheat or some other quality that I can't have, and I'm sure that other people will have the same experience. It is important to note, however, that Geffen does not make theirs in a isolated facility. So they make theirs in a facility that also handles eggs and milk, and there's like it may contain traces of eggs, milk, or nuts. If you are fine with that and you can handle tiny traces, or if you don't really fear that, then this pasta will be great for you. If this is something you fear, then this pasta will not be good for you. Corn pastas, on the other hand, I found tend to be made in a specific facility for corn pasta. This means if you cannot handle corn pasta that is made in the same facility as other allergens, you should be good. I found Sam Mills is pretty fine with having their pastas isolated from everything else, and it might be just a specific corn pasta maker. So if you are looking for pastas that are basically isolated from any other allergens, this is a good one to check out. I also know there are other pasta makers such as the Bowls who also make some good corn pasta, so you might want to check that out as well. When it comes to taste, texture, and quality, I find that the potato pasta tends to taste slightly like potatoes, but more like pasta too. You could eat it with tomato sauce, you wouldn't really notice the difference, though it does have a distinct potato quality that you may have to leap over first. It also tends to be a bit slimier and squishier than regular pasta, so if that is something you can't handle for whatever reasons, taste or texture, it's good to know that it can be a bit slimy at first. Now, when it comes to corn pasta tends to be just like wheat. So you can move it around, it's not too squishy, it stays firm, it's not like you're holding wet noodles basically. It tends to be pretty good. It has a flavor that's slightly reminiscent of corn, which is to be expected since it's corn pasta. And it's also really good with tomato sauce, typical pasta food items. You won't really miss wheat pasta that much. I've found that you can find corn pasta at most stores. The ShopRite and Stop and Shop seem to sell corn pastas, or they are getting that way. Whereas with the potato pasta, I've only really found Whole Foods selling them, and maybe Stop and Shop. This may or may not apply to other stores, so if you live in a different area, you may need to check them out or check your stores out and see if they have them. Hopefully this helps you decide on what pastas to buy or which pastas would be best for you. I know that it can be hard to choose and differentiate between what pastas are out there or what foods are out there, so hopefully this makes things easier on you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them down below. If you like the video, like it. If you enjoy my content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you.